they enjoy a little bit of a hotter microclimate. So we try to think about the microclimates, the little places in the property that are a little hotter, a little colder, to give the advantage to the plants that prefer their different preferences. So these are persimmons, these beautiful things. I don't know if you can see how orange they are in the late light, but they look like a Christmas tree. This one's getting there. They are incredibly astringent. They are punishing to the impatient. If you eat them before they're ready, they will turn your mouth into a black hole of dryness. So they almost have to fall off the tree to be ripe. This is a food forest, and a food forest combines both fruit or nut or other type of you know, fodder trees, something that fuel pharmaceuticals, something that yields something to humans or the ecosystem, intermixed with other annual plantings or other perennial plantings on the 7 layers of the forest, which include a ground layer, actually a myco layer, and then a climbing vining layer, then shrubby perennials, and you know, tall sun-loving perennials, and then shade-loving perennials. So we're trying to imitate the structure and function of a forest in a human-designed or really imitated ecosystem that provides all these particular needs that we're trying to achieve through annual agriculture. And the more we can replace annual agriculture with perennial agriculture, then the more we're able to sequester carbon, the less energy we're going to have to pour in to our food system in order to make it work, the more stable soil building, carbon sequestering that we can make our food system. So the dream is sort of the Garden of Eden, you know, where we're actually harvesting a lot of food that's just falling on the ground. And you never quite get there, of course, but the more that we can replace annuals like wheat or corn or beans with perennials like nuts and fruits, chestnuts, walnuts, and hazelnuts, like many of which are growing, then we're really achieving some great gains. Lovely maple in the late afternoon sun. This is our greenhouse garden. So we have figs over here, again on a west facing brick wall. The sun is going to radiate off that late afternoon heat when the wall is bare back at the fig, and it's going to mature it early, bring it out early, and sure enough, the first leaves that will appear are on the southwest corner right here, and the first figs that appear are there, and then it leaves out this way and it'll frost back the same way. So you see some frost damage on some of these late cold days, and then when you get back into the tree here, you see some very vibrant leaves with not much damage, and that's largely due to the microclimate that we have there from the brick wall. So just a brick wall, if you know what to do with it, can be a big advantage. One of our most dramatic microclimate lessons, these are Nanking cherries and Asian pear. This is a pomegranate, which just bookmark that because I'm going to show you another one that's actually doing well. We built this, our last farm manager, Tristan Abbott, built this beautiful garden out of cedar, which is locally harvested. We went to get it and then built it here with some irrigation. And we've taken out all the tomatoes because it's too late. They're not dead, but they just wouldn't produce with such little sun. So you see the familiar alyssum, if you might remember that. And most of this has been harvested. We need to replant it in wintergreens, which we would have done a month ago if we'd been on top of it, but we're not. We plant a lot of, there's comfrey again, more alyssum. We plant a lot of black-eyed Susans, which are all around, again, perennials that just are perennials that are really good for pollinators. This is a lovely marigold. Marigold is one of the best companion plants you can grow. It attracts a myriad of really nice insects and repels some other critters that we don't want. You see it's sprawling out here in the late season. This is a pinwheel or jolly joker marigold. We love our marigolds. There's some mustards, some remaining jalapenos. This is the other pomegranate that I mentioned. And this pomegranate is, has one still up there. This pomegranate is the same age as the other pomegranate that I showed you. The same variety, planted the same year, same variety. And it's against the south wall of a glass and brick greenhouse. So you can imagine how much heat gets reflected against that. This has borne fruit for 7 years. Abundant crop, hundreds of lovely, delicious pomegranates. The other pomegranate has not ever had a pomegranate, and it's never grown more than 8 feet tall. This is the aster that I mentioned. We saw the aster in the other spot, which was dead. This one's still alive. Again, you see the brick wall. That's what's keeping this vibrant. This is a New England aster and a wonderful source of late season pollinator food, which actually are still out. These are some fairly mature muscadine, and I mentioned the muscadine earlier, and this is them. They grow, and now this trellis will just have fruit dripping off of it. We have an aquaponics system here. Sorry that it's grown darker faster than I realized, but this system is a imitation of a river. It's growing fish and plants together, and we have a tank of tilapia on the bottom, which you may be able to see some of those. Let's see if I can. I don't know if that's visible. I don't think it is. Anyway, there are some large tilapia in this bottom of this tank. And then growing up here are plants that that benefit from the fish water. The fish water is pumped to the top, and then it reticulates down this way, and then over here, and then drops down that pipe, and then goes over here and drops down that pipe. I'll need to do another video with this showing in the day. But the water, because of the bacteria that grow in this system, the bacteria break down the fish's ammonia into usable nitrates, and those nitrates are drawn up by the fish. Drawn up by the plants, and the plants grow like crazy. We have a lot of perennials here, rosemary, comfrey. Have a big order of comfrey for a client. Anise hyssop, purple coneflower, lemongrass. We have more comfrey, this is lavender, black-eyed Susans, raspberries, figs, different plants. And every plant that we have, we also know how to propagate. So once we get it, we don't have to buy it again. So one of the things that we teach is propagation. So that is a lightning fast tour of the Trevecca Urban Farm, and hopefully we can have some more conversations about it. Thank you. Have a wonderful night.